Rare miss layup by Tiffany Hayes. Angel tries to say, ball don't lie. Driving the other way, and Martin got a piece of Reese.
Kate Martin just sent Angel Reese's shot flying back to the bayou. Yeah, you heard that right, in a game that had everything. Martin's block on Reese wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement as Kate Martin's undefeated Laces basketball club faces off Lexie and Angel Reese's Rose basketball club in the new unrivaled 3-on-3 basketball.
So that was the weirdest game of basketball I've ever seen. That was just genuinely the weirdest game of basketball I have seen in my entire life. And it was the Laces against the Rose.
But that's not even the craziest part. Something happened with Lexie Hull, the breakout star that won the last game for Rose. That's got everyone talking. And don't even get me started on the Rose's coaching decisions and whether or not she allowed stat padding once again and how. Was Reese ejected from the game? You're going to want to stick around for this one, because what went down on that court, it's leaving everyone scratching their heads. Are you ready? Let's go.
Better shooting teams here in Miami so far, and two stout defensive clubs. 3-0 Laces, 1-2 Rose, fresh off its first victory of the.
All right, let's talk about the Laces. You know what's wild? These underdogs have turned into the top dogs of the unrivaled league. Remember when everyone was writing them off before the season even started? Well, guess what? They're not just winning games, they're dominating them.
Laces, awfully impressive start. They shoot the ball well. They boast the top scoring defense in unrivaled.
The Laces rolled into this matchup against the Rose with a perfect 3-win, 0-loss record. But that's not even the impressive part. These ladies are leading the league in rebounds, assists, steals, and point differential. And they're committing the least turnovers and fouls. It's like they're playing a different game out there now. You'd think losing two star players would slow them down, right? Alyssa Thomas and Jackie Young are both sidelined with injuries. That's got to hurt, doesn't it? Well, apparently not for the Laces. They've still got Kate Martin, Kayla McBride, Tiffany Hayes, and Stephanie Dolson holding it down. And let me tell you, these four are like a well-oiled machine.
It's not just a high IQ group, but the Laces came in excellent shape. Andrew Wade's club has collectively played 350 more professional games than any other club at Unrivaled. They have bought in. Up by 6 without Jackie Young, without Alyssa Thomas.
You know what's really setting them apart? Their teamwork. It's not about individual superstars here. It's about how well they play together. One opposing coach even said their teamwork is off the charts. And he's not wrong. These ladies aren't just passing the ball. They're reading each other's minds. Out there, take Kayla McBride and Tiffany Hayes, for example. These two have been absolutely crucial to the Ella's success in their last game against the Vinyl. It was McBride who hit the game-winning shot, with both scoring over 20. And the entire team is averaging double digits in scoring.
Rose are now 1-3. The Laces are 4-0. The Laces did not have Alyssa Thomas. Tiffany Hayes was hurt quite a bit. Steph Dolson fouled out. Kate Martin again still can't hit a shot. And Kayla McBride it is between her and Nafisa Collier for MVP.
So here's the million-dollar question. Can the Rose find a way to stop this unstoppable force? Or are the Laces about to show us all why they're the team to beat? Because let's be real at this point, it's looking like the Laces are playing chess while everyone else is still figuring out how to set up the board. This is where it gets interesting. The Rose just got their first win with Lexie Hull leading the charge. But now they're up against this Laces juggernaut. Will they stick to what worked before? Or will they try something new? And what about Angel Reese? Is she going to step up? Or is she going to be benched again?
A lot of people, whether it's coaches, your coach, other coaches, and even players, have pointed to you as an example of why this is a great format for the WNBA offseason. I mean, what does it feel like for you just to know that you're getting your flowers here and people are recognizing your game and how it fits into this?
You know what they say about revenge being a dish, best served cold. Well, Kate Martin just cranked up the temperature to scorching hot. Remember that national championship game where Angel Reese's LSU team took down Martin and Caitlin Clark's Iowa squad? And then the antics that Reese did after the game, turns out Martin's got one heck of a memory.
Well, that's much appreciated. But I don't know. I've always had confidence in myself, of knowing the type of player that I am. But also it's fun because it's 3-on-3 and it's meant to be fun. This is meant to really enjoy the time with your teammates, and like, you don't play with these people in the WNBA season, so it makes it really fun getting to know everybody.
So picture this race thinking she's about to add another highlight to her reel goes up for what she probably thought was an easy bucket. But Martin, she had other plans. What happened next was like something straight out of a basketball fairy tale, if that fairy tale was written by someone with a wicked sense of justice.
It's just a good push. You see here that she's going to come right through Martin, who gets her with.
Martin didn't just block Reese's shot. She sent that ball flying so far it might have needed a plane to go back to the arena. This wasn't your average swat. It was a statement, an exclamation point, and a mic drop, all rolled into one. Martin was basically saying not today, Angel, not in my house. But here's where it gets really interesting. This block wasn't just about defense. It was personal. It was Martin's way of saying, hey, remember me. I'm not the same player you faced before. And let me tell you, the fans felt it too. One spectator even hiccuped. Oh my, Kate almost sent Barbie back to the bayou. Ouch.
For Rose. Good hands by Reese. Martin makes him pay.
You might be thinking it's just one play, right? Wrong. This block was a game changer, a momentum shifter. It was like Martin flipped a switch, and suddenly the whole dynamic of the game changed. The Laces, who were already dominating, found a whole new gear, and Reese, well, let's just say she didn't take it too well. The rivalry between these two was palpable throughout the game. Every time they crossed paths on the court, you could feel the tension. It was like watching two alpha wolves circling each other, waiting for the right moment to pounce.
Martin gave Tolson a look just to sell out the defense.
This wasn't just about Martin versus Reese. It was about the Laces versus the Rose. The Laces, even with only 4 regular players, were showing everyone why they're the team to beat. And the Rose, they were learning a harsh lesson about what happens when you underestimate your opponent. Remember, when Lexie Hull was the Rose's golden ticket, the player who could turn the tide and lead them to victory. Well, things have taken a weird turn, and it's leaving everyone scratching their heads.
So lads, Lexie Hull played again today, and I would have thought after the last game that she played, Lexie Hull was going to be, in with a chance of being one of the, not main players, but like in a good rotation spot for the Rose.
Let's rewind for a second. Hull just led the Rose to their first win a couple of days back, dropping 19 points in just 10 minutes. She was on fire, unstoppable. Even you'd think the Rose would be all in on Hull after that performance, right? Guess again.
Genuinely thought that Lexie Hull was one of the better players on the floor again today for the Rose, and up until late in the third quarter, she had played 3 minutes. She had played 3 minutes up until late in the third quarter. Like, that's just madness. That's absolute madness, given the circumstances that she had just come back off a 7 or 19 point game, and her team won the game.
In their game against the Laces, Hull barely saw the court. We're talking 3 minutes of playing time until late in the third quarter. 3 minutes? That's like having a red-hot Ferrari in your garage and choosing to ride a bicycle instead. This isn't just a head-scratcher, it's a full-on mystery. Why would you bench your hot hand when you're facing the undefeated Laces? What was their coach even thinking? The Rose's strategy seems all over the place. One game they're riding hold of victory. The next they're keeping her on the sidelines. It's giving everyone whiplash. And you know what? This decision might have cost them the game again without Hull's firepower. The Rose struggled against the Ella's ironclad defense.
would have thought that, like, like she would be easily getting her 10 minutes most games, and that there'd be no reason why she wouldn't be playing big minutes. But you can see right here, in the end, it looks like she played okay minutes. But up until very late in this game, Lexie Hull was back to warming that bench. She was back to warming that.
But here's where it gets really weird despite Hall's limited playing time. Her coach, Nola Henry, can't stop singing her praises. Henry said, Lexie, that's just who she is. That's just what she does at every level, everywhere she's at. But she finds ways to make an impact at May. Not always show up on the stat sheet, but it definitely matters when it comes to the things she can do to help you ultimately win basketball games.
Hull was the best player on the Rose on the only game that they've won this year.
So let me get this straight. Hull's coach thinks she's amazing. She just led the team to their first win, and yet she's warming the bench. Make it make sense. This isn't just confusing. It's downright frustrating for fans. Hull's performance when she finally got on the court was nothing short of electric. It's like she picked up right where she left off, ready to light up the scoreboard. But instead of letting her loose, the Rose kept her leashed.
She was one of the better players for the Rose down the stretch. But the problem was that she wasn't getting on the court down the stretch. Or until the very end.
So what's really going on here is Hall's secret. The Rose's most valuable asset, hidden in plain sight. Or is there something else at play that we're all missing? All right, let's talk about Angel Reese for a second, because things are getting wild. You know how she was hyping herself up about this coming season. Well, it's not exactly going according to plan.
Yeah, it is. This was a horrible game of basketball. We just got to be honest here. This was a horrible game.
Picture this Reese, the self-proclaimed star player, the one who's supposed to be leading the charge and unrivaled, couldn't even finish the game against the Laces. You heard that right. She fouled out in the fourth quarter. And guess what? This isn't even the first time she rode the pine because of fouls. It's like she's collecting penalties instead of points. Now you might be thinking, okay, so she's playing aggressive. What's the big deal? The big deal is that Reese spent more time warming the bench than lighting up the scoreboard. She came out hot in the first quarter, scoring 4 points in the first 4 minutes. But after that, it was like watching a car run out of gas on the highway. Remember that logo three-pointer Reese was practicing? Roll the footage.
Looks, different combinations. How you approach this is different without Alyssa Thomas, but that also gives you a challenge to approach it with.
I liked his confidence.
You've got to wonder if Reese is feeling the pressure with all eyes on her. Every mistake is magnified, and right now those fouls are speaking louder than any highlight.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you the basketball, great. Nothing else. She has not, she's got self-awareness. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
You've got to wonder if Reese is feeling the pressure with all eyes on her. Every mistake is magnified, and right now those fouls are speaking louder than any highlight.
Now she knows it to the point that even when she's on the basketball court, she's aware, like, this ain't really my thing. Let me get this hot potato out of my hand and to somebody that knows what they're doing with it as soon as possible. You got to see this clip. This is a 3-on-3 basketball game. Angel Reese strips a player at one end, runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl.
In the first quarter, it looked like Reese was ready to prove herself. She was scoring. She was rebounding. She was everywhere. But as the fouls started piling up, you could see her confidence draining. By the third quarter, she had 4 fouls and was playing like she was walking on eggshells.
When That's
So selfish. Come on.
that she don't want that smoke, Steve. She wants nothing to do with having to shoot the basketball. And I give her credit. It's self-aware.
And then it happened in the fourth quarter. With the game still up for grabs, Reese picked up her sixth and final foul as she walked off the court. You could see the frustration written all over her face. This wasn't just Reese having a bad night. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. While Reese was busy fouling out, her team was struggling to keep up with the Laces. It's like they were playing with one hand tied behind their back, especially with Hull still stuck on the bench. Every time they tried to make a run, they'd look for Hull, only to remember she was on the bench.
Hull's minutes drastic go down. Like, we genuinely saw that. And to be honest, I don't know what Nola Henry can do, because very clearly Lexie Hull was in the three best players today, but it's like, you can't not play the point guard, as people.
So what does this mean for Reese, Hull, and the Rose Basketball Club? Is this just another bad game? Or is it a sign of bigger problems? One thing's for sure, if Hull is leading you to victory, then you better stick to that strategy instead of giving Reese another shot. So what's the final score here? The Laces didn't just win a game. They rewrote the playbook with only 4 players on the roster. They still managed to dominate the court and the row well. They're left scratching their heads benching Lexie Hull after her stellar performance. And let's not forget Angel Ree, who spent more time on the bench than on the court. Talk about a fall from grace.
We saw Lexie Hull again doing Lexie Hull things, even though she wasn't shooting the greatest. I still thought her defense, especially when she was full court pressing on like a Kate Martin or a Tiffany Hayes, they didn't do much on her. They really didn't. Like, it is not easy to go past like to get past Lexie Hull.
But you know what? This game wasn't just about wins and losses. It was a glimpse into the future of women's basketball. The Laces showed us that teamwork trumps individual stardom any day. Kate Martin's block on Reese, that wasn't just a defensive play. It was a statement. So what's next for these teams? The Laces are riding high, proving they're the team to beat. But the Rose, they've got some serious soul-searching to do between Hull's benching and Reese's foul troubles. They're looking less like a team and more like a puzzle with missing pieces. Can the Rose recover? Can the Laces continue to dominate? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.